Hi and welcome to today's yin class. We're going to do a 60-minute yin where we're focusing on inviting the spring and inviting our intentions into what we want to set out for ourselves and then acting upon that. So it's going to be a flow where we're starting from the feet, so we're getting that support from Mother Earth and then working all the way up into our hips and then getting all that energy into our heart. So we're going to start in an easy seat. So find a comfortable seated position, either sitting onto a bolster or a block. And then just letting your breath settle. So you may start to just gently closing down your eyes and lengthen your exhale. And feel like when you're breathing in that you're starting to expand the breath downwards. And then think of spring as setting our intention or planting our seeds, so that they can blossom. So take a moment to feel into what's important to you. And if you're planting those little ideas there in your heart and in your mind, spring is a beautiful time for it to be activated and for us to stay motivated. Now with your intention and with the seeds of what you would like to plant, take a few deeper breaths, allowing your body to feel it and to hear it. Just take a few more moments like this, just sitting with your breath and with your intention. Let's bring that intention into our body. So let's move the arms up over our head. Take a full breath in. Gently interlace your fingers and move the arms down in front of your body. And again, inhale. Exhale, move the arms down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale back down. Good. So we're going to start to come into our feet or into some stretches for our feet. We're going to start with a toe stretch. So if you feel like you want to have more support underneath your knees, you're more than welcome to use that. And we're going to start to make sure that all our 10 toes are tucked. And you might just want to take a moment to rest your hands so that your body gets used to the idea of stretching the toes. So the reason for starting with our feet is that's the direct connection that we have with the earth. So if we're thinking that we're nurturing from where our bodies start, then we want to draw that energy up into our hearts. But first of all, we need to kind of nurture, plant the seeds, so that those ideas and intentions can grow and manifest. And feel free to stay with the arms down or hands down to the floor. Or if you are comfortable, you can start to sit back. But I don't want you to feel like it's overwhelming. You want to relax into shoulders and relaxing your face. And take a moment to just breathe with it, melting the shoulders down away. It's really coming into your feet. Let's take 5 more breaths. You see if you can stay with it. Relaxing your jaws. And if it feels better to breathe out through an open mouth, you're more than welcome to. Just listening to the sound of the breath and let that guide you. So once you're approaching your 5 breaths, you may just want to place the hands back down. And we're going to bring the energy back into our feet. So you can gently tap the feet down to the floor again. Because we're going to keep nurturing the feet a bit. So we're going to come into an ankle stretch. So this time the toes are not tucked, so on the tops of the feet. And you can start on either side, it doesn't really matter. I'm starting with my right side. So here I want to pick up my right knee so that I get a full stretch into the top of the foot here. So it's pretty nice and maybe unusual to stretch your foot like this, but like I said, we really want to make sure that the energy can move up into our body and into our heart and into our higher consciousness. Trying to remember that every pose that we're coming into in our yoga practice, it always comes with a lesson. So what can we learn here? How can we change our mindset into more of an uplifting and supported approach and attitude? Gently release, swapping sides. So now I'm lifting up my left knee here. Mali's having a good snore, maybe happy to miss out on this pose. So see if you can find a bit of a softness here. So you don't need to hold the knee or tense the arm too much. Just a few more moments, just staying with it. And ever so gently releasing. So for our next pose, you can turn to the long edge of your mat, and you might want to have a rolled out blanket, or you can also fold your mat in double. So coming into tadpole or frog pose. So this time we're stretching the inside of our feet. So I'm getting my inside of the feet down to the floor and my toes are pointing out. And here it might be nice to either, I need my bolster for this one. So taking either a bolster or a couple of blocks in front of you so that you can rest your forearms down. So now we're kind of moving the energy from our feet up into the ankles and knees. And we're just going to stay here for a few minutes. So remembering as we approaching life and maybe different postures, what is our attitude towards it? Because really our attitude is all that we can control. And with that attitude comes a reaction. So maybe challenging yoga poses can teach us something. It can teach us how we choose to react and how to be about it. And then when it comes to life, we can also then choose what attitude we want to have to the external world, to the people around us. And if you're thinking about your attitude and all the intentions that you can set now for spring, what's your attitude going to be towards them? Because we not just want to suppress our dreams and desires deep down. We want to make them flourish and grow and bloom. Now, yoga can be a journey within, where we're coming into a readiness to grow, transform, and awaken our potential. Just a few more moments here. Relaxing into your jaws and into your shoulders, down through your arms and your hands. Just one more breath in and a full breath out. And to come out of it, you can do your best that you can. I kind of leaned into my forearms and then got the knees a little bit closer together. So we want to keep the knees nice and close now and just rest for a moment in a child's pose. So you can either have the bolster or the block in front of you, or you can also fold the arms and then resting your head into there. So just taking this moment of reflection and perhaps just tuning into the lessons that that pose was giving you. Good, and then ever so gently start to make our way back up. So our next pose is shoelace, and if you know that your hips are a little bit tight, feel free to use the support of a block, or you can also roll your mat up if you need. So let's start with the left leg in front, the left leg straight, and then bringing the right knee on top. However, if you feel like your hips are open and if your knees are not up too high, feel free to bring that bottom leg in. And then you want to make sure that your feet are not too close to your bottom. So you don't want to sit onto the left foot, want to try to get it further forwards. So if you're having both legs folded, want to make sure that you're not rounding into the back. So you want to have even weight through your hips first. And if anything doesn't feel right, just straighten the bottom leg, okay? So there's no need to tie yourself up into a knot here. Just make it accessible for your body. And then inviting some circles into your shoulders. And then picturing that you're now melting down through the hips. So we've been moving the energy from our feet, ankles, knees, and now into the hips here. Finding that freedom into the hips. And when you feel ready, finding stillness with shoulders. And a couple of options here to either stay upright or feel free to make your way forwards if that feels good. If you're coming forwards, you don't have to fold to the maximum. Don't take the pose to the extreme. And you want to make sure that you can still keep both your sit bones down, either onto the block or down onto the floor. So moving mindfully. Remember, there is no rush. Molly's snoring at the minute. She's feeling relaxed. So if you are folded forwards, just be a little bit curious about what this pose can teach you. So you want to imagine that you're starting to melt down through your outer hips. And just letting everything go. And if it is a bit of resistance, maybe just talk to the resistance and finding out what it has to say. And then see if you can mindfully breathe through it. Melting deeper and deeper into the pose, or just into a deeper state if you're already content with where the pose is. No force, just more mindfulness of what your body can do and where it's at, and meeting your body's needs. Let's take one more breath in here. And exhale all the way. Starting to release out of the pose. Come into a counter pose. So if your left leg was straight, you can bring it back in. We're going to move that right leg behind us. If you're sitting onto any blocks, move them out of the way. Or you can move it in front of you. So we're basically going to fold over our left leg here now. And then relaxing the legs as much as we possibly can. Relaxing the head down into your arms or onto the block or bolster if you wish. And just take a moment to letting the body absorb that pose. What is the sensation in your hips here? Slowly make your way back up. So let's set up for our second side now. So bring your right leg straight and then your left leg on top. Or you can start to bring that right leg in, sitting up onto any props if you need. And we're starting with some gentle shoulder rolls again. And draw those smooth breaths in. I want to invite the body into the pose. Good, and then choose to either stay upright or making your way slowly forwards. And remember, the approach forwards can take as long as your body needs. How can you best support yourself through this process? You want to make sure that you can hear the sound of your breath. Just letting it sound like the ocean. Just tapping into your intentions. Tapping into your desires and nurture them here in this moment. Because once we develop a deeper trust for our body, we develop that deeper trust for our own path and the choices that we have to make, so that we can stay true to ourselves. Keep breathing it through. Good, so let's take one more breath in and exhaling all the way. Starting to make your way back up. Just take your time. And when you feel ready, coming into the counter pose, second side. So bring your right leg in if you had it straight. And then bring your left leg behind you. And then just relaxing over our right leg now. So you might just starting to feel a bit of a flow back into the legs and a flow around the hips. Just let your body melt for a few more moments in this counter pose or recovering pose. And just take one more breath in and full breath out. Slowly coming back up. Nice. So we're going to come into square pose now. So let's bring the right leg in front, and same thing here. Feel free to sit on support. You can either roll up your mat or have a little blanket or the edge of your bolster. So we're going to want to cross the shins here. Wriggle the feet below the knees and make sure there's no weird angles for your ankles here. And then we want to try to get a little bit wider through the seat. And feel free, for those who are more open into their hips, you can also stack your right foot on top of the left. And let's come into the pose. So same thing here, you can choose to stay upright or folding forwards. Here I want you to connect down with the sit bones. So now our sit bones are down into the ground. And we're going to start to move the energy up in our body. So now we've been nurturing from our toes, feet, ankles, knees and hips, and now we can work and connect with the base of our spine. And as we're inhaling, we want to draw the breath up along the spine. You can even imagine a little ball of light, which can represent the sun. So we need the sun and the warmth to be able to get our seeds and intentions to sprout. And as you exhale, you're melting that back down. So you're breathing in from the base of your spine. Draw the energy up, feeling that light ball all the way up through the crown. And then exhale down through the head and down your spine. So the ball is moving in time with your breath. And see if you can stick with that visualization. Really feel like you're filling the back body with your breath. Lungs expanding in all directions. And as your breath expands, your energy expands. Inhale deeply. Exhale to release. Good. So take a moment to come into windshield wipers before we swapping the legs around. So gently bringing the knees over from one side to the other. Oh, there goes my hip. That was a good crack. Good. And then starting to set up for our second side. So left leg in front and wriggle the feet below our knees here. Or stacking your left leg on top of your right. Either staying upright or eventually make your way forwards. So we're once again going to connect with just that simple visualization. Visualize that ball of energy from your tailbone moving up along the spine on the breath in. Moving back down along your spine back to the base on the exhale. Just feeling you melting your seat to the ground, really drawing that energy from the earth, moving it up into your body. Knowing that you are supported and loved. And it is safe to walk on your path. Melting into the moment, breath by breath. Softening deeper into the pose. Letting it all go. Let's just take one more breath in and a full breath out. And if you are folded forwards, just make your way back up. If you have any props, just move them to the side and come back into windshield wipers. Moving our legs over from one side to the other. There goes my other hip. Awesome. Sorted both my hips out. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to set our bodies up for a supported bridge. So that's just to get a little bit of inversion. So now we're picturing the energy that we created from our feet up through the legs into our hips are now going to be poured into our heart. So feel free to use any type of support that you need. So you can either have your block, either one or two, or even your bolster. So we are going to lay down on our backs. And then you can choose to where you want to have the support. So you can either keep your block flat or putting it up a little bit higher if you need. And your option to how you would like to have your feet here. So you can either rest the feet onto the floor, or you might want to straighten the legs out, which will give you a nice stretch into the front of your hips here. Make sure your lower back doesn't cramp, so move the block or the bolster more down along the spine so you kind of feel like you flatten into the lower back a bit more. You might want to lift the shoulders and then tuck them away from the ears. And just melting the back side of your body. And feeling that energy into your heart now. Breathing deeply into the belly. And make sure you can flatten the neck as much as possible. And if you have your legs straight, you can slowly bend the knees there and place the feet back down. And we're gently going to lift our hips and then move the support away. And then it might feel nice to just hug your knees into the chest here. You may even want to rock your knees slightly from side to side so that you're feeling that the lower back comes down to the floor. Good, and let's release into our hips. So coming into figure 4 pose, place your right ankle on top of the left knee. Option 1, you can stay here with the foot down, or if you feel like you can, then you can thread the right arm through the legs here. So you want to bring that left knee towards you and the right leg away. So we've been nurturing the hips quite a bit here today. Just so that we are able to move forwards, moving freely into our direction and our path. Good, and let's slowly release and switching sides. Left ankle on top of the right knee. And once again, you can check in with your shoulders there Gently dropping them down. Inviting that right knee in and the left leg away. Relaxing your right foot, so you don't need to hold that right leg up in any way. Breathing deep down to the belly. And take one more inhale. And exhale to let go. Hug your knees into the chest. Give yourself a bit of a rock from side to side again. Place the hands onto the knees and then just gently pressing the legs away, arching your spine for a moment. Coming into a twist, so hug the right knee into your chest. And then you can either rolling gently over to your left side, so you're basically rolling over to your left hip and shoulder. If it feels better for you to have the foot, I have a block there, which is pretty nice actually. Resting the foot onto a block there, or you can rest it down to the floor, or if you feel comfortable, you can also bring that right foot into the back of your left knee. So you can choose to stay more towards the left side, or if you feel like you can twist a little bit more through your spine, then pushing down through the left arm, and then lift that shoulder, so you're tucking it under. And then maybe the eye gaze up. Or you might even want to relax the arms out, so your palms are turned up. And breathing now. See if you can relax into the back if you have your arms open. So you're just relaxing through the arms. There is no holding here. Let there just be softening and ease. So this pose is good for our sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra. So the sacral one is where we're planting our ideas and creativity awakens, and then our solar plexus is where we action on the ideas. So that will also help you here with your intention setting. And remember that ideas often comes from stillness. Creativity needs space. It needs the stillness so that we can connect with it. And take one more breath in. And a full breath out. Let's switch it out. Hug your left knee in. Get your right leg straight. And twisting over, either rolling over to your right hip or hooking the foot into the back of the knee. Then see if you can push down there through your right upper arm and then tucking that right shoulder under. Or you can choose to stay on your side there. Maybe floating our arms out again. I really feel that you take your space here. Melting into your space. Noticing if there is tension that you're holding on to. And then soften even more. And let's take one more breath in. And a full breath out, coming back to your back again. Hug your knees in. Give yourself a little rock. And we're going to settle into stillness now. So you can either lay down on your back with your legs straight. Feel free to pop a block or a bolster underneath your knees if you need it. And lifting the shoulders up and then tuck them away. Or you can choose to come into a seated meditation. So whatever you prefer. Whatever sits best with you. Mali is definitely in Shavasana mood. She's snoring away here. So if you can hear her snores, just let that be a part of the meditation. So let yourself settle here. If you're laying down, you can just feel that the back side of your body just sinking deeper into the ground. If you are sitting up, we're trying to maintain a bit of lengthening, and you can also come back to that visualization that we had before with a ball of energy that's moving from our sit bones and tailbone, sit bones and our tailbone up along the spine on the breath in, up to the crown, and then down back through the spine on the exhale. If you are in your Shavasana, just keep relaxing. You're feeling the front body starting to soften. Feel you start to relax through the crown of your head, down through your forehead, eyebrows, eyelids, nose, nostrils, cheeks, lips, tongue, chin. Soften down through the throat, chest, arms, belly, hips, relaxing down through your legs, out through your feet and toes, and the back side of the body keeps sinking deeper down. It's like you're floating. Let the earth hold your weight. Let it carry you with everything that you are. Sense of celebrating to take on new beginnings. That you are ready to transform and awaken to your full potential. Tapping into your dreams and your visions. Tap into everything that you are. Let that blossom. Now take a full deep breath into your body. And let's open through the mouth and exhale all the way. Move your fingers and toes around. Stretching and yawning. Hug your knees to the chest if you're laying down, or fold forwards if you're sitting up. If you're laying down, you can release the feet back down to the floor and roll over to one side. And when you feel ready, coming up into a comfortable seated position. Either keep your eyes closed or just maintaining a soft gaze, placing our hands together in prayer. Let's seal this practice by chanting the sacred sound of Om once. Inhaling. Ah. Inhale. Exhale to smile. Keep the inspiration, love,